Most people believe that keeping money in the bank is the safest way to protect their wealth. But here's the truth. While your balance might grow in numbers, it's actually shrinking in value. Inflation silently eats away at your savings, and the interest banks offer can't even keep up. So what's the smarter move? In this video, we'll explore 6 assets that are better, safer, and far more profitable than cash. These assets can protect your wealth and even help you build generational prosperity. Let's start with something timeless: gold, silver, and platinum. These metals have held value for thousands of years because they're rare, real, and impossible to print. While paper money can lose its worth overnight due to inflation or bad economic policies, gold and silver have always moved in the opposite direction. For instance, an ounce of gold cost around $400 in the 1950s. Today, that same ounce is worth over $2,000, and forecasts predict it could reach $10,000 by 2032. That's why the wealthy always allocate a portion of their portfolios to precious metals. They're the ultimate hedge against inflation. And if buying physical gold feels expensive, you can still gain exposure through gold ETFs, digital assets that mirror gold's price movement without needing to store the metal yourself. When cash burns, gold shines. Now, let's talk about the assets that fuel modern industry: copper, cobalt, nickel, and silver. These aren't just metals, they're the building blocks of our future. Cobalt, for instance, is essential in electric vehicle batteries, and its demand has skyrocketed. Back in 2012, cobalt cost around $20,000 per ton. By 2022, that price had doubled to $40,000 per ton. Industrial commodities gain value because of utility and scarcity. They're hard to replace and always in demand. You don't have to buy or store them physically. Instead, you can invest in mining companies, commodity-focused mutual funds, or futures and options that track their performance. When industries grow, these metals grow richer, and so does your portfolio. Not all currencies are created equal. While the US dollar dominates global trade, its value can still fluctuate heavily due to politics or inflation. That's why the wealthy often park their money in safe haven currencies like the Swiss franc, British pound, or Chinese yuan. Take the Swiss franc, for example. It's backed by Switzerland's strong economy and political neutrality. During crises like the 2008 financial crash or the 2009 Eurozone debt crisis, investors rushed to Swiss banks, causing the franc's value to soar. In early 2023, one Swiss franc was worth over $1.10, a clear reflection of its strength. Even if you can't open a Swiss bank account, you can still invest in currency ETFs or trade on Forex platforms with small amounts, even as low as $100. The key is diversification. Holding a mix of stable currencies protects your wealth when others fall. Have you ever looked closely at a dollar bill? It says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." That means the dollar is backed not by gold, but by the full faith and credit of the US government. Since the end of the gold standard in 1971, fiat currencies rely entirely on the credibility of their issuing nations. That's why investing in government securities, like treasury bills, notes, and bonds, is one of the safest ways to store value. These investments are backed by the government itself. In the United States, they offer better returns than savings accounts and are considered virtually risk-free because the US government has never defaulted. Small investors can easily buy Treasury securities directly through the Treasury Direct portal, gaining access to one of the safest asset classes on Earth. When the economy shakes, sovereign guarantees stand firm. Government securities are safe, but they grow slowly. If you want to see higher returns while keeping stability, value stocks and dividend-focused mutual funds are powerful options. Value stocks belong to established companies with proven business models, firms that consistently generate profits and pay dividends. Unlike risky growth stocks, value stocks offer both steady appreciation and reliable income. Researching individual companies can be time-consuming, which is why many investors prefer dividend-focused mutual funds, such as the Vanguard High Dividend Yield Index Fund. These funds give you diversified exposure to multiple strong companies that pay dividends regularly. While your cash sits idle in the bank, value stocks put your money to work and make it grow. Finally, let's talk about assets you can touch: real estate and collectibles. Land is one of the few assets that never depreciates. It's limited, always in demand, and constantly increasing in value. Between 1992 and 2020, housing prices tripled despite the 2008 housing crash. You don't need millions to invest in real estate. REITs allow you to invest in properties through shares, giving you passive income from rent and appreciation. A great example is Ventas Incorporated, which focuses on healthcare properties like hospitals and senior housing. And if you want something unique, collectibles like vintage cars, rare art, watches, and luxury handbags are another form of wealth storage. Unlike ordinary assets, they often gain value over time, especially rare and limited edition pieces. You can even invest fractionally through platforms like Masterworks or Convey, owning a piece of valuable art without paying millions up front. Here's the truth. Keeping all your wealth in cash is the fastest way to lose it. Inflation doesn't wait, and banks don't protect you from it. Diversify your portfolio. Own assets that grow, appreciate, and protect your money from the storms of inflation. Because while money loses value, real assets build legacy.
Thanks for watching our video from Online Profit Network. Subscribe now for more valuable tips and insights to boost your online success.